This is Spotlight Omaha. Spotlight Omaha is a local podcast that highlights local businesses and influential movers and shakers in the Omaha business community. Spotlight Omaha is brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing. Now, from the Pyramid Contractor Studios, the host of Spotlight Omaha, Jimmy Allen.
Good morning and welcome into the Spotlight Omaha podcast, where we take you around the city of Omaha, introduce you to local business owners, influential figures, and people who are making an impact on our community today. We are brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing. If you need help with search engine optimization or you want an entire team to manage your social media marketing, Pixel Fire Marketing is here to help. Check out pixelfiremarketing.com for more details today. Joining us inside the Pyramid Contractor Studio is Ben Pratt with Art Hero Massage. Ben, thanks for being here. I appreciate it.
Not a problem.
It's in the name, but just in case anybody's wondering, what is Art Hero Massage and what are you guys doing?
Art Hero Massage is my business. I sell full body massages, not full hour massages. And your first session especially can go as long as 3 hours, depending on your needs. What that basically means is I don't charge extra for time over the usual hour that's expected.
Do me a favor, just pull the microphone a little bit closer to you. I apologize. There we go. Perfect.
All right.
Interesting choice for a name, Arch Hero Massage. Why was that the name you guys went with?
That name was because I wanted to think of something big.
Sure.
And the biggest thing I could think of is heroism and the way that it's viewed in the world, which is completely unattainable. If you see the Hollywood movies, you'll see that people are flying and punching walls, and we can't do that, but we can help someone in our local community in the way that they need and heal them. And so I thought that I was also inspired by the founder of Service Master.
Okay.
And he started his business because he named it that because Jesus is the master of service.
Sure.
And so also, as opposed to an arch villain or highest villain, Jesus is the arch hero, and I want to be just like him.
It's obviously a high bar to set, but a very cool path to follow, obviously. When we talk about starting a business when you did, we talked a little bit before the camera went on. You used to do tech support, decided to get into massage therapy. Why was it at the right time for you to get out of that industry and kind of and move on to doing something different? Because these are two very different industries, right?
Yeah, what a question.
Yeah.
I won't go into details, but
sure.
I was in a marriage before the one that I'm currently in.
Okay.
And I was not allowed to get into the massage business. And so when she left me, I went into the massage business. And my goal was to always help people. And that's why I entered the psychology field about almost 3 decades ago. And and then got into tech support after that.
When we talk about our different callings, and you're talking about things that happen in life and following Jesus's path and things like that, the saying is everything happens for a reason, right?
That's right.
But I think it's so hard in entrepreneurship and business development to keep that mindset, right? When we talk about starting a business from scratch 2 years ago, what was the biggest hurdle for you from a business standpoint?
So 2 years ago, I was working for other people, and up until June of last year, because, and it was a good thing because I learned a lot from them and their tutelage, and I wouldn't have been able to survive without their help. But in June, the biggest hurdle is I found out was marketing. You can't just print out some flyers and throw them out there and put them on businesses' counters where people are checking out or picking up their tea and hope that people are going to call you.
100% agree.
Yep. So I started getting in people's faces and talking to them business to business, and
Sure.
that helped. And but mostly what's happened is word of mouth, and also my Google reviews and Yelp reviews, Nextdoor reviews, and third-party discount website reviews.
I've noticed you do a little bit of podcasting to some degree of your own. You're doing videos on your social media and things like that. Is that more for fun? Have you seen kind of a little bit of a kickback from that from a marketing standpoint too? How has that helped?
I haven't seen anything that's hurt me.
Sure.
But yeah, it's just been fun to finally have a gimbal and not be, fumbling with my phone. And it's been helpful to express myself.
Yeah.
And to get little bits of information out, which is kind of difficult for me personally, just because I like to over-explain things and make sure that I'm not misunderstood.
Yeah, and a lot of people ask me to prep them for questions about like when we're doing things like this, and I always tell people it's a basic Q&A. We just want to know about you because this is supposed to be fun. It's just a conversation. We want to give people a platform to express themselves and tell people about their business. What's your favorite part about what you get to do on a daily basis?
My favorite part is definitely just the fact that I am directly helping people, and I'm able to heal them at a pace that their bodies can handle. And it means a lot more to me. Their words expressing their appreciation, whether it's through their words spoken or in writing.
Sure.
That means a lot more to me than any amount of money that they give, because, I don't want to degrade their work, how much they worked hard for the money, but
It's just not the goal for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm more in it for knowing that I did a good job, and this work is really its own reward, and hearing nobody's really called me a lifesaver
Yet.
but but they did call me a lifesaver when I was resetting people's passwords, and it's just not satisfying.
Sure.
So yeah.
When we talk about pay scale and making money and how do you grow your business and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, that stuff is all kind of rudimentary if you're in the healing industry, right? But when we talk about competition in the city, and when we started this podcast, I expected it to be dog eat dog and everybody's out to be cutthroat, etc. But you already talked about you worked under two people before and kind of learned the way of the industry and things like that. When you choose to kind of charge by the body and not by the hour, like you guys do, what was the response kind of from the massage community? And why is that such an important deal for you? There's
not really been any kind of response from the massage community that I know of. Anybody who I've told has been agreeable to it, and those massage therapists have just said, okay, during our trade, okay, but I'm not going to go beyond so many hours, and it worked out, and that's fine. But it's just a matter of shoot, what was the question?
Sorry, yeah. Why we were talking about why is it such a big deal for you to charge by the body and not by the hour?
Right, because your body is different from somebody else's body. You don't know really, probably, how much time your body needs to really get the full effect of massage therapy, and that's because you've been buying hourly massages. And when you buy an hourly massage, you're going to get a therapist who is trained to work by the hour, and they're going to be working with deep pressure, and they're going to be working on you in a way that might hurt you on that same day, especially during the massage, but even after the massage, right after, you'll be feeling the effects, and it won't be pleasant. And the only reasonable time for that is if you were to get like myofascial release, because that's reasonable. That's a more intense modality. But Otherwise, if you're going for deep tissue, then you'll definitely want to expect to hydrate right after and make sure that you're aware that the muscles that I woke up are going to hurt you tomorrow or even the day after that, but you'll be feeling better and healthier. And those are the muscles that you might want to focus on when you're exercising to strengthen them, because it's likely that you're just throwing them into whatever motions you're doing.
Yeah, you mentioned the hydration portion of it, and I wanted to ask about that because anytime I've ever had a massage afterwards, they say drink plenty of water, but never tell you why. Why is hydration such an important part for after the massage?
Hydration affects your blood flow. It affects your lymphatic system, and the lymphatic system doesn't have a pump, and so that's where parasites and bad things exist and need to be pushed into the lymphatic ducts. And so when you hydrate, you allow for everything to flow properly and to be nourished. And this also allows your muscles to not be dried out and hurting.
Sure. We're catching up with Ben Pratt here of Arch Hero Massage on the Spotlight Omaha podcast, brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing and Pyramid Contractors. I kind of mentioned a little bit when we talk about growth. Where would you like to see your business grow to over the next 6 to 12 months?
Wow. I don't know. I was thinking of going nonprofit, but also...
That's a little difficult in this industry, right? I would have to imagine.
Right. Yeah, the idea is that since I massage people at all costs, that I'm not necessarily getting $100 every time.
Sure.
Because some people need discounts and I work with those people. And so I'm not confident yet that I am going to be able to afford that business model, but I really want to. And so if everybody's contributing to that effort, then I'd be more confident, but we'll see what happens.
You mentioned it. It's in your guys' mission statement. Heal at all costs.
Yes.
Where does that calling come from? I mean, we talked about your beliefs and your faith earlier. Is it as simple as that, or does it come from somewhere else?
Yeah, it's from there, but it's also from that place that I've been in that previous relationship where, I was depressed at times. Sure. And without a job, and I was reminded I have to work so many hours, not me, but I have to work so many hours to make this much money, and you want this thing. And I don't want anybody to have that mindset or to think in that way so that they can never get a massage because they're thinking that it's a luxury or a treat when it should be a monthly process that's for your health. And
is it a big deal for you to end that stigma, to help with get rid of this is a treat? And is that a big deal for you?
Yeah, that's a huge deal. And it's one of the reasons why I don't do any add-ons. And so that's definitely a big thing for me is just giving people, for example, I could charge people, but I don't want to, and I never will charge people for the pre-massage session of talking and getting to know each other, where we have Topo Chico carbonated mineral water or hot tea. And the reason for that is just because that's something that I hated about working at other spas. And I know that the big box stores are like that too, where they are in a rush to get you on the table, and they're a stranger and you're a stranger, and none of it matters. And what I want to encourage people to do is to express themselves and be comfortable. And part of conveying ourselves on screen, which makes it so uncomfortable, is we're three-dimensional people and we're trying to convey ourselves to 2 dimensions. And that's a lot more difficult. We have to make ourselves smaller in a way and contort ourselves so that we're presenting the best self. And so when people come in, they're not an NPC.
Sure.
And I'm not an NPC. And
it's a relationship.
Exactly. And so I could charge for the hot tea and the water, but that's silly.
Just doesn't feel morally right?
Yeah. Well, not only that, but I'd be nickeling and diming people for something that I want to spend my money on anyways. So
who's your ideal client?
My ideal client is really, I say, anybody that needs detailed deep tissue massage. That's my specialty. And even though I say it's detailed deep tissue, people miss the part that about the word detailed, and they still think deep pressure. And so my ideal client is somebody who wants that, who has the time to spend on their own body, as I do, and who is not in a rush, and who can handle the pressure and is not on any blood thinners, so that they are not able to have that without serious bruising.
Where can people find you at? How do they book a massage?
They can find me at archheromassage.com, and they can also call or text me at 402-217-7288. And since I got to pick my phone number, it's actually 402-21-PRATT, which...
It's your last name, yeah.
Yeah, which also spells professional, relaxing, and totally therapeutic.
Fantastic. That's Ben Pratt with Art Hero Massage here in Omaha. Get a hold of him and his team if you'd like to book a session today. We've hit on a ton. Is there anything about Art Hero Massage that we haven't mentioned that people should know about?
Yes, it's just me. I'm the team.
So, okay, there you go. Yeah. He is one of one. Make sure you get a hold of him and book that today. We'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. here on the Spotlight Omaha podcast, brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing and Pyramid Contractors. Hope you can join us in the morning. Thanks for watching.